Hey guys, let's talk horror movie cliches. Oh, and the zombie part of it still. Horror movie cliches. Sorry about the noises in the background. That's either music or the fucking motorcycle just drove my house. Anyways, so I found myself sitting here in my parents' living room watching The Walking Dead, Cabin Fever, Patient Zero, and all that kind of thing. And it got me thinking on a topic that I love thinking about because there's so much that you can pull from movies like that and just be like, okay, this is wrong. We need to take this kind of route to different things. So as I found myself watching these things, I kept thinking there's so many cliches in these kinds of shows. Like for one thing, I started episode 3, season 1 of The Walking Dead because I watched the first 2 episodes full through, and I just wanted to keep on going with the entire thing. There's only 4 seasons so far, and I haven't really been watching it with my dad lately, so I want to catch up to where he is right now. So, I noticed that as the sheriff was running from the zombies after getting out of the tank, he and Glenn decided to go into. He and Glenn made their way to a mall where they were holed up into one gigantic room with a bunch of other survivors, and there were 2 zombies. No, there was one zombie at first that actually had the brains enough to have a rocket start smashing against the window. And I thought to myself, holy shit, there's a fucking group of at least 50 zombies at the fucking window. Why aren't any more zombies having some rocks or being smart enough to bang on the fucking window? And that's when I got started talking to my friend about this whole zombie thing. Honestly, in my opinion, the zombie movies, every single one of them are way so fucking cliche. The one zombie movie that I've actually seen that doesn't have as many cliches is World War Z, because they're actually put into a situation where this virus actually has a cure that they're close to working on, that they've been working on for quite a while, instead of just like, oh shit, we need to start working on this, and every single fucking doctor has somehow been infected. But the thing that pissed me off about the entire movie is the fact that when he and that soldier lady survived the plane crash, the only 2 survivors, they somehow landed in a fucking huge forest that should have taken at least 4 to 5 hours maximum movie time to actually reach the hospital that they luckily landed near. And there was a literal fucking camera pan all in that fucking forest area, and there was no fucking town yet. So movie time, reality, it would have been dark. Movie time, reality, it should have been dark by the time it reached the fucking hospital. And somehow that entire town where the hospital existed in was not infested with zombies, but the interior of the fucking place, somehow they managed to be in front of the survivor part isn't run over by zombies, but the other side of the fucking hospital is, by a shit ton of them, because somehow they just couldn't contain one fucking person that was already stuck in a glass tank to begin with. I don't fucking know how. I don't know how doctors, especially of that magnitude, can be so fucking stupid. But anyway, enough with the cliches itself, but more on the virus part. The virus itself actually takes place more up here, as we've always seen, after being bitten somewhere. And literally, as with everything else, it varies in which something like that starts. Like you can be bit in the leg and it would take a while. You can be bit in the arm, it can take a while. You can be bit in the neck, it would be almost instantaneous. And it always varies with everything out there. That's a good thing. That's the one cliche that doesn't exist in these movies, because it does vary. And the awesome part is, unlike every other any other zombie movie that I've seen, the virus actually varies in climate change as well. Like in New York, the air was colder, so the virus can move much quicker in the air and through water and everything else, and including through bite, which caused one person, as we've seen, 5 seconds, or at least a minute, I forget, to actually become fully infected. And in I forget where it was, but it was somewhere near Israel, I believe, or somewhere in that area, somewhere, so they can fly at least a day into Israel. one of the soldiers got bit by the zombie. And that entire way through, that should have at least taken 2 minutes. But since the air is hotter in there, even though it was raining, the air was hotter. He still got bit, and it took him 2 minutes before he killed himself. He actually did an honorable thing because he didn't want his soldiers getting killed. And somehow, before all that happened, the doctor guy managed to get himself killed. Anyways, more on the virus part. It literally varies in the climate change, the bite area, and actually just bite area and climate change to begin with. In every fucking zombie movie, it doesn't matter where the fuck you are, where the fuck you're bitten, you're taking so long just to be infected with a virus that should potentially have a cure, but somehow nobody knows what it is. Not even a standing cure, as World War Z had. Literally nothing, none of the other zombie movies that I've seen actually had a standing cure. What they managed to do in World War Z was to infect people with terminal illness anyways. And so in every other horror movie, I'm sorry I keep bouncing around, but actually this will make sense later on. In every other horror movie, the virus, again, it takes so long. And again, there's no standing cure for every other horror movie. But it attacks the brain. And the cliche part to kill a zombie, even in World War Z, well, actually, not necessarily World War Z itself, it's always the head. You gotta shoot the head, where the virus is attacking. Okay? And the thing is, my friend and I were discussing where the survival instincts are, which is exactly what these zombies are working on, are going on. And the one that drives them, hunger, exists inside the brain, not outside the brain where our civilized parts exist, where our motor skills exist, but no, the inside of the brain. And every single virus out there actually ravages the interior of everything, including the brain. So, how could zombies, in that sense, exist then if the inside of the brain was killing even the most deepest of instincts? And how are they surviving? In my opinion, if a virus like that existed, it would have to be the heart that keeps them alive, because the heart still beats. You can't have living dead with a non-beating heart, ever. But somehow the most cliche thing, zombies don't have a beating heart. Realistically, the heart would still be beating, the heart would keep the rest of the body alive, and the mind, if there's a chance that the virus didn't take the interior already out, then it would take a while. They would be dying, yes, but they would be living, and they would be hungry, and they'd be feeding on anything, not just humans. For some reason, they'd be feeding on just humans in every single horror movie. They can't take no animals, they can't take any veggies, they just have to. They know what to eat, which is weird, because even as babies, we have to figure out what's good and what's not. So, technically what a zombie is, now that we've taken the baby route, is like a newborn baby. In a very much more disgusting and morbid sense. It learns. It's able to learn. We've already seen that, especially in Season 1, Episode 3, where the zombie, two of them, in the end of the episode, actually have a rock to bang on the windows. They're getting smart. They're getting smart in that episode, especially since they're grouping up and they're learning to run. I don't doubt that sometime they're actually going to learn motor skills soon, in a sense, because they obviously still can't speak. They have their vocal cords are still working, obviously, as they breathe in and out, in and out, in and out. But unfortunately, in shows like that, it takes the outside and inside and deteriorates the brain. And more on that, as I was trying to get to, the virus itself takes over everything in the brain. And on that note, I'm going to end this video right here, and I'm going to give you part 2 later today. See you guys.